One. All right, welcome to another Group C matchup. We have ShadowShield still undefeated in Group C after taking down my compadre here, Reborn Gaignun. No. According to the other video I made, it's the Swole Epine show, actually. And he's still looking to pick up his first win here, despite the menacing name. Hasn't yet managed to pick up a win in this group. Although this is going to be the tough matchup here. He's going against the undefeated player. So let's go ahead and hop in and see how this one turns out. We're going to be starting on Palace. That is not the maps. That is my arsenals. Cry in a corner because cartwheelers are just poor disabled children that don't know how to jump. No, not to be confused. Noble people, not cartwheelers. Cartwheelers are dirty people that you don't want to interact with. Where? Damn it. We see the pressure deck coming out again, but ShadowShield jumps it. Yeah, it's not going to be... It's not as good against a jumper, but if he was going to run it like against a jumper, he should make some adjustments and throw in the gravity press so when they jump it, they get hit by gravity press too. That +2 speed, though, gives him a lot more freedom than you'd think. Well, it looks like the version he ran on Highway Against You, which we saw him eventually Bravery Decision, and I had failed to really see where that arsenal was going because he burned through so much of it, but then you killed him right before he really had a chance to do much more than he threw a pressure and a Psycho Spear, and that was about the majority of what we saw from him that game. So I'm going to be interested to see, since Shadow's not really aggressive here, to see what Afin actually has in that arsenal if he gets deep enough in it this time. Yep. Read him like a book here. It's coming. Yeah, you really don't want to face that there on the stairs. Well, the pattern I see out of ShadowShield mainly is a lot of other people look to combo with Psycho Burst, but he plays the patience game. Like, he's all about the patience and just waiting for the right moment and, like, staring you down until you finally make the mistake, which we do see him connect the hit there. You know, he followed him for a good 30, 40 seconds, and then he throws it once, and he hits it once. Yeah, a lot of times, like, we talked about this, he and I, when you were playing Afin, because Afin played it nice with the Swift Blow on Palace, that when you play those kind of things, that they're actually better as a harsh defense, because if you walk the Flame Sword and then throw a Psycho Burst or Swift Blow, Dance of Death, something like that, like, there's a really high percentage chance of hitting it if you walk it and you hit it with the right timing. Even cartwheelers have a real hard time dodging that. As we saw, you weren't able to cartwheel the Swift Blow. So you throw that Flame Sword, it gets walked. it's like a real big melee deterrent, honestly. Like, you don't want to go after him with a flame sword because there's that, like, what, 70% chance that he's going to walk the first flame sword and then just pop you. Well, we did see Dance of Death in that one, but I don't think he may have it in this one. Yeah, it's going to be a lot like the Filthy versus Shadow matchup that we had. Yeah, maybe he had the Swift Flows. He might have the 21 damage here. For next person to connect probably wins the game. Shadow would have to hit him twice. Ooh, there it is. Is it the 21 damage, though? Oh, yeah, Afin does have 13 aura now. I was looking at the aura backwards. Yeah, whichever hits next is lethal. So the game's... That's going to be it. Afin overplays his hand there, throwing it twice, and ShadowShield punishes him for it. Yeah. Yeah, those arsenals can be exciting to watch, but when they go against each other, not as exciting. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Afin use it a lot himself. And so ShadowShield, I mean, I was talking to him earlier. He said 80% of his arsenals, he was looking through them right now, have either a Psycho Burst or a Dance of Death in them. Oh, and I was teasing him a little bit about it too. And I was like, well, how do you feel about that? And he's like, well, if it ain't broke, you know. And I was like, you know, it's hard to argue with that, though, when it has worked. If it's not broke yet. Afin used both of his Swift Blows there and now can't block the reincarnation. I don't think he even has nature in that deck. It's Psycho Key. Flash Hole does get broken, but I don't think he has that many other ranged attacks unless he does the Pressure Psycho Spear again. So it's honestly one of the few times, normally I say Rock Shot for a Flash Hole is a good trade, but if that's your only multi-use ranged attack, it's not. You can still jump at +5, Willow. It's jumpable. He says the cartwheeler who doesn't play a jumper, but yeah, it's... I can dodge it at +5. It's the thing about Willow. The thing about Willow is the accuracy hits cartwheelers really hard, but it's still basically the same animation to jump it at +5, +9, whatever. If you do the proper circle jump, if it's coming from a certain angle, like it is impossible to dodge. But if you do a proper circle jump on an even plane, it's just as dodgeable as it was previously. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he's already used 2 of his Swift Flow, so at best he's got 1. It's not the best setup for him right now, but at least he has the Psycho Shell to defend against some of this stuff. Does connect. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's basically just playing with fire there right now up against the Dance of Death in close quarters, and he can't get through that Psycho Shell. Yeah, it's also possible he has something in there like a splashdown or something like that. I know at least whenever I used to run Dance to Death, I would have a splashdown or two in there. Just because it helped you get high damage more quickly. But the Willow Fire Gehenna combo pays off, and Shadow closes out game 2. Stay. Hold on 1 second. Oops, sorry, dog. Still City. We've seen as a regular rhythm deck several times, but honestly, I think it would be a good play here, especially against somebody like ShadowShield who plays high cost stuff anyway. If he could, it's a good hanging map, and if he could get a good hang, which that's been one of my criticisms, is he hasn't been hanging appropriately, and he doesn't get it set up quickly. But if he does get a quick setup and he hangs appropriately, that could be really effective here and give him a win. Because once he has it hung, I really like the build he has for his irregular rhythm. Yeah, we'll have to. It could be the same arsenal he's been using, and he's walking up with another Swift Blow. Yeah, that is not an orb. Or an amulet. Swift Blow comes out. The vibration coming out, and now that he's sitting in his base with only 2 aura, he's basically in the fishbowl. That's going to be real painful. But the Psycho Shell can at least block the attacks coming. He just has to get out of Vibration Laser's range. Or at least it looks like he's trying to. No, he doubles back. If he just stays down there, this is going to be it. Yeah. That's the other thing, running in with 2 aura and a Swift Blow, like, it's just not a good idea because it allows somebody, when you see that optic aura, you're like, okay, we saw him use a level amp. As soon as they go back to base, if he's at 10, like, you're in so much trouble, as we see right here. Yeah. Yeah, it was a rough draw there. Again, I think it just comes down to he shouldn't have gone in there to try and spar with him with the Swift Blow that early, especially when he saw the vibration set up. He needed to find something long-term for himself and then stay on ShadowShield. But good showing again. It was good having Afin in the tournament. I believe that was his last match. And yeah, it was Group C starting to wrap itself up. ShadowShield with only 1 match left to play is now 4-0, looking to put a solid 5-0. No, he's already played Wolf. He needs to play Zombie. His final person needs to play. And thanks for tuning in, guys.